Today, we're diving into the Artemis-II mission. This is a big one. It's humanity's first crewed flight heading out towards the moon in over half a century. A whole new generation is reaching for the stars, and this is their first giant leap.
I mean, it's pretty wild to think about, right? It's been more than 50 years. 50 years since the last Apollo astronauts left the lunar surface way back in 1972. For half a century, we've basically been circling our own planet in low Earth orbit.
So that's the big question, isn't it? After all this time, why now? Why are we finally going back? And what's different this time around? Well, let me tell you, the answer has way more to it than just planting flags and leaving footprints.
All right, so to really get why we're going back, we first have to break down what this mission is all about. This isn't just some spontaneous trip, it's an incredibly well-planned test flight, and honestly, the engineering behind it is just mind-blowing. Okay, so first thing you need to know, they're not actually landing on the moon with Artemis-II. This is what's called a lunar flyby. You can think of it like the ultimate high-stakes road test before you take the car on a cross-country trip. They're going to push the spacecraft and its crew to the absolute limit out there in deep space, just to make 100% sure every single system is good to go for the real landing missions down the line.
So what's the plan? Well, the whole thing is basically a 10-day space odyssey. It all kicks off with a massive launch from Florida. Then they'll do a few laps around Earth, just to make sure all the lights are green. After that, it's off to the moon for a few days. They'll loop around the far side, the mysterious side we can never see from Earth, and then they'll come screaming back home, hitting our atmosphere at a crazy 40,000 kilometers per hour before splashing down in the Pacific. Talk about a return trip.
And the tech that's making all this happen? It's just next level. We're talking materials and computing power that the Apollo engineers couldn't even have dreamed of. You've got the Space Launch System, the SLS, which is literally the most powerful rocket ever built, period. And the crew? They'll be riding in the Orion capsule, which is a beast of a spacecraft, designed from the ground up with advanced life support and heavy-duty radiation shielding to handle the brutal conditions of deep space.
Okay, this next part is one of my favorite details. It's so clever. They have this incredible safety feature baked right into the flight path itself. It's called a free return trajectory. And what that means is, even if everything went wrong, total systems failure, a complete blockout, the moon's own gravity would grab the spacecraft, swing it around, and slingshot it right back home to Earth. It's like the ultimate get-out-of-jail-free card for space travel.
But it's not just the amazing technology that makes this mission so historic. It's also about who is on board. The crew of Artemis-II, they really represent a whole new era for us in space.
Just take a look at this lineup. You've got Christina Koch, who's going to be the first woman ever to travel into deep space. Victor Glover, the first black astronaut to fly on a mission to the moon. And, for the first time in history, a non-American, a Canadian astronaut, is going beyond low Earth orbit. This is so much more than just a mission, right? It's a powerful statement that space exploration is for everyone.
Okay, so we've got the cutting-edge tech, we've got a trailblazing crew, but that still brings us back to that core question. After 50 years, why now? Why this enormous investment? The answer to that really shows how much our entire vision for space has changed.
And the difference between the Apollo days and now? It's night and day. Think of Apollo as a sprint. It was a race, pure and simple, fueled by the Cold War. It was all about getting there first. Artemis, though. Artemis is a marathon. The goal isn't just to pop in for a visit, it's to stay. It's about figuring out how to build a real, sustainable presence on the moon, so we can learn how to live and work on another planet. It's the ultimate dress rehearsal for the main event, sending people to Mars.
Yeah, and this mission is going to be an absolute fire hose of data. Seriously, they're going to be tracking everything you can imagine. How the astronauts' bodies handle deep space radiation, testing out brand new navigation systems. They're expecting to gather more crucial information on this one trip than some entire past programs did. This isn't about symbolism. It's a deep dive science mission, designed to figure out everything we need to know for those really long trips in the future.
Now, even though the goal isn't just political this time around, we can't ignore the fact that the original moonshot was absolutely defined by the Cold War. And well, today's return to the moon is also being shaped by let's call it a new geopolitical landscape.
The big players are different now. Back then, it was the USA versus the USSR. Today, the new space race is really between the USA and China. And China has a seriously ambitious lunar program of its own, including plans to build a base on the moon in the 2030s. So yeah, this isn't just about bragging rights anymore.
This is about establishing a strategic foothold for whatever comes next.
But here's where things get really interesting, and it's a huge difference from the Cold War. This new era is also being defined by collaboration. I mean, Canada and the European Space Agency are absolutely critical partners in this, and you've got dozens of countries that have signed on to the Artemis Accords. Think of the Accords as the proposed rulebook for operating on the Moon, a framework for things like sharing scientific data and peacefully using lunar resources. So it's kind of like a race, but a race where a lot of the runners are also trying to agree on the rules as they go.
So really, with this flight, a brand new chapter is starting. Artemis-II is the critical bridge connecting our past on the Moon to our future. Not just there, but way beyond. So let's take a look at what's next on the roadmap.
Okay, so here's the game plan. Artemis-I was that first big test flight, no crew, and it was a huge success. Artemis-II, that's this one, the crewed flyby we've been talking about, and after that comes the big one, Artemis-III. That's when we'll finally see boots back on the lunar surface. But it doesn't stop there. The plan for the 2030s is to build the Gateway, which is like a permanent space station orbiting the Moon and a base on the surface. It's all part of that grander vision to get to Mars.
And all of this really leads to a fascinating final thought. For the first time in history, we're not just looking at the Moon as the finish line. We're looking at it as a training ground, a workshop, a launch pad. So it really makes you wonder, right? Is the Moon no longer the ultimate destination, but now just the starting line for our real journey to Mars?